Spain, 1936. A soldier crests a hill, and a bullet finds him. In the same instant, a shutter clicks, the man falls, and stays falling, forever, in one of the most famous photographs of the century. That picture exists for one reason. The camera that took it was small enough to be there, in the dirt, in a hand, in the chaos. A generation earlier, this image was impossible. A camera was furniture, a wooden box on a tripod, glass plates, a world that had to hold still. You could not catch a moment. You could only pose one. So how did the camera escape the tripod and learn to chase life itself? It started with a sick man who just wanted something lighter to carry. It was built around a strip of movie film. It fit in a coat pocket, and it handed the world a new power to catch a fleeting instant and keep it forever. This is the story of the Leica. Chapter 1. The sick man. At the start of the 20th century, taking a photograph was hard physical work. A serious camera meant a heavy wooden body, a tripod, and fragile glass plates, each plate a single shot. To photograph a mountain, you carried the mountain's worth of gear up to it. For Oskar Barnack, that was a problem. Barnack was a precision engineer. At the Ernst Leitz optical works, in the small German town of Wetzlar, a company famous for microscopes and fine lenses, he was brilliant with his hands, but he was also asthmatic. Hauling crates of camera equipment into the hills left him fighting for breath, and so he started turning a simple, selfish wish into a question. What if a camera could be small enough to slip into a coat pocket and still take a picture worth keeping? In a company built on grinding tiny, perfect lenses, he was exactly the right man in exactly the right place to try. Around 1913, Barnack found his answer. In an unlikely place, the movies. The film industry already had a cheap, mass-produced material, 35mm cinefilm, running vertically through movie cameras, in small frames. Barnack's idea was to turn that film on its side and run it horizontally, doubling the size of each frame to 24 by 36 millimeters. It was still tiny, but it was enough. He built a small metal prototype to test it, a compact little machine that fit in the palm of a hand. Today we call it the Ur-Leica, the original Leica. It was elegant, precise, and years ahead of its time. There was just one catch. To believe in it, you had to believe that a negative the size of a postage stamp could ever become a real photograph. Almost no one did. The whole idea was a gamble. The big camera world measured quality in the size of the negative. A bigger plate meant a sharper, richer image. Barnack was proposing to go the other way, to make the negative smaller than anyone thought sane, and win it back with precision. Then history got in the way. The First World War broke out, and a tiny luxury camera was the last thing the world needed. The project was shelved for years, but Barnack never stopped shooting with his prototype. He carried it everywhere, and quietly proved something to himself, that this little machine could capture a street, a face, a moment of ordinary life, fast and unnoticed. He didn't just build a smaller camera. Without quite realizing it, he was inventing a new way to see. After the war, the decision landed on one man, Ernst Leitz II, who now ran the company his father had built. His engineers were divided. A pocket camera with a stamp-sized negative was not what a respectable optics firm was supposed to make, but Leitz trusted Barnack. In 1924, he made the call himself, reportedly saying, "I will take the risk." In 1925, at the Leipzig Spring Fair, the company unveiled the Leica, a name stitched together from Leitz's camera. It was unlike anything on the tables around it. No tripod, no plates, no ceremony. A precise little instrument you could simply pick up and use. The gamble was now public. The world just had to decide if it agreed. At first, the critics were right to doubt. How could a negative that small ever rival a large glass plate? The answer was Leitz's own obsession, optics. The camera carried a lens called the Elmar, ground to a precision the rest of the industry could not match. A tiny negative captured through a near-perfect lens could be enlarged, blown up far beyond its original size, and still hold its detail. And the small body changed how people shot. You could raise it quickly. You could work close in low light without a flash or a stand. You could take dozens of frames on a single roll instead of one careful plate at a time. Suddenly, photography wasn't a ceremony you set up. It was something you did, the way you breathe. The people who understood the Leica first were not studio photographers. They were the ones who needed to move: reporters, travelers, witnesses. For the first time, a photographer could disappear into a crowd, follow a story on foot, and shoot the world as it actually happened, unposed, unplanned, alive. This is where modern photojournalism was born. A young war photographer named Robert Capa carried a small camera into the Spanish Civil War, and in 1936 made that image we started with, a soldier at the very instant of death. His rule became famous: if your pictures aren't good enough, you're not close enough. The Leica was the camera that let you get close enough to touch history as it was being made, and then there was the artist who gave it a name. Henri Cartier-Bresson roamed the world, with a Leica taped over in black, so even the camera would go unseen. He hunted for a single fraction of a second, the instant when everything in the frame falls into perfect order, a leaping man mirrored in a puddle, a glance, a gesture, a line. In 1952, he called it the decisive moment. It is still the idea at the heart of photography, that out of the endless flow of life, there is one exact instant worth keeping, and your job is to be there, ready, when it arrives. The big cameras could never have chased it. The Leica was built for nothing else. The little format Barnack chose became the standard for the entire world. 35mm, the same strip of film he borrowed from the movies, went on to load almost every camera in almost every hand for the rest of the century. Rivals copied it, whole industries grew on top of it. The Japanese makers who would later dominate photography, all built on the format a sick engineer in Wetzlar had defined. And think about what that format recorded. For most of the 20th century, the wars, the protests, the celebrations, the quiet ordinary days, the visual memory of the modern world, was written, frame by frame, on a strip of film small enough to teach anyone to shoot from the hip. Oskar Barnack did not live to see most of it. He died in 1936, the same year a small camera he had imagined froze a soldier mid-fall in Spain, and the year his quiet revolution truly came of age. He never set out to change art, or journalism, or history. He just wanted a camera light enough that a man with weak lungs could carry it into the hills. The company he worked for kept his name on the lens mount, and kept building Leicas, expensive, understated, almost religiously precise, the camera of those who care more about seeing than about being seen. Every photographer who has ever raised a small camera to their eye and waited for the moment is, in a way, still working inside Barnack's idea. Think about how small the cause was, and how large the effect. A man who couldn't breathe well enough to carry a heavy camera up a hill borrowed a strip of movie film and turned it sideways. And from that one practical, selfish wish, photography slipped off the tripod and out into the street, into the war, into life. Before the Leica, you posed for a photograph. After it, a photograph could catch you without your permission. The exact, unrepeatable instant of you simply being alive. The little camera didn't just make pictures smaller, it made the whole world photographable. It taught us all to look and to be ready for the moment that never comes back. If you made it this far, subscribe. We tell the stories behind the cameras that changed everything. The obsessions, the gambles, the accidents, and the people who never knew what they'd started. Next time, the camera that took on the giants of its age, designed by a single stubborn engineer who looked at the modern camera and decided it was still far too big.